10 things you should not do at US airports, that you're probably doing unknowingly. Hey there, fellow travelers. Welcome back to our channel. Today, we've got a must-watch video for all of you jet-setters out there. We're diving into the top 10 things you should absolutely avoid doing at US airports. These are things you might be doing unknowingly, but fear not, we've got you covered with some crucial travel tips. There are unwritten rules for everything, including the airport, and if all travelers knew these, it would make the travel experience so much better for all of us from checking in to boarding your flight. Here are some of the essential guidelines that airport staff wish every traveler knew. So, let's jump right in. Number 1, ignoring security rules. First up on our list is ignoring security rules. It's easy to get caught up in the hustle and bustle of the airport, but disregarding security guidelines can lead to major delays and inconvenience for everyone. Always make sure your liquids are in a clear, quart-sized bag, and your electronics are easily accessible. You should also stick with your group when checking in with an airline agent. If you are flying with friends or family, approach the check-in desks together as a group instead of one of you going to one desk, and the other going to another desk. This is going to be faster, and it also increases your chances of being seated together, and if you do end up having your checked or your carry-on suitcase weighed and it is over the airline's weight limit, you may want to rearrange some of your items to avoid that extra baggage fee. It's totally okay to do this, just please don't do it smack in front of the check-in agent's desk. If you simply move to the side, other passengers are able to check in while you do whatever it is that you need to do. No one likes going through TSA airport security, especially when the people in front of you are holding up the line and breaking this rule. Number 2, not checking TSA pre-check eligibility. Not checking if you're eligible for TSA pre-check. If you travel frequently, this can save you loads of time. One of the primary benefits of TSA pre-check is expedited security screening. Pre-check members get to use dedicated security lanes that generally have shorter lines and move faster than the standard screening lines. This means you can breeze through security without removing your shoes, belt, lightweight jacket, or your laptop from its bag. Number 3, taking your time at luggage carousel. The luggage carousel, a place where time seems to stand still. But spending too much time there can be a mistake. Be prompt in retrieving your luggage, and remember to leave room for others to do the same. Number 4, ignoring gate information. Our fourth point is all about gate information. Ignoring those announcements can lead to you missing your flight. Stay vigilant, especially in larger airports where gates can change frequently. An unwritten rule for the gate area is to take up the space that you need and no more. So don't be that guy that's taking up an empty seat by putting their backpack on the seat beside them in the gate area, or be that person that is lying down across 4 seats, because even as the area gets busy and you decide to move, it's still not that pleasant to be sitting somewhere where you just had your shoes on the seat. In addition to being conscious of how much space you are taking up, please leave the seat clean and pick up your trash because someone will be using it after you. Number 5, not having digital copies. Now, let's talk about digital copies. Many of us rely solely on physical documents, but having digital copies of your passport, ID, and boarding pass can be a lifesaver in case of loss or theft. Number 6, not charging your devices. Charging up, or rather, not charging up. This is a biggie. Always keep your devices charged, as some airports have limited charging stations. You don't want a dead phone causing you unnecessary stress. Also, if you do have one of those large plugs, the common courtesy is just use the bottom outlet as opposed to the top outlet. This way your large plug doesn't cover the socket underneath, so it's still available for another passenger to use. Number 7, crowding around boarding areas. Crowding around boarding areas. Remember, your seat isn't going anywhere. Avoid the mad rush and wait until your boarding group is called. It'll make the whole process smoother for everyone. Know your boarding zone, and refrain from crowding the gate area as boarding begins. I get it, you want to be ready as soon as they announce boarding, so that you can get some of that overhead bin space for your carry-on suitcase, but please at least wait until they announce your specific boarding zone before hovering the boarding line. Don't pretend that you didn't see that yours was Zone 6 and then tried to board with Zone 1, 2 or 3, you will most likely be rejected at the gate. It's going to be a waste of your time along with everyone else's time as you are now sent to the back of the line. It's also common to see passengers unintentionally break this rule, but ignorance is not bliss. Your boarding zone is clearly displayed on your boarding pass, and it's important that you know it, and when it is your turn to board the plane, make sure that you have your passport open to the photo page and that you have your ticket in hand. Number 8. Being unprepared for security checks. Up next, being unprepared for security checks. Have your boarding pass and ID ready, remove your shoes and jacket, and put all your items in the bins. This will speed things up and make the experience less stressful. Keep an eye on what passengers ahead of you are doing, and then prepare yourself accordingly. If everyone is taking off those shoes and their jackets, untie your laces and be prepared to do the same. Also have your liquids and your electronics accessible so you can quickly place them into the screening bin when it's your turn to do so. There are also quite a few guidelines on how to act with a TSA agent. Follow their instructions and don't get upset if they are less than pleasant with you. Number 9. Not checking airport rules. Host, almost there. Number 9 is all about airport rules. Different airports have different rules. Some prohibit certain foods, while others might have specific guidelines about liquids. Always check before you pack to avoid surprises. The United States has strict regulations regarding the reporting of currency and monetary instruments when entering or leaving the country. These rules are in place to prevent money laundering, illegal activities, and to ensure transparency in financial transactions. The requirement to report amounts exceeding $10,000 is governed by the Currency and Foreign Transactions Reporting Act, also known as the Bank Secrecy Act, BSA. If you are carrying currency or monetary instruments that exceed $10,000, or its equivalent in foreign currency, when entering or leaving the United States, you are required by law to report this to the U.S. Customs and Border Protection, CBP, agency. This reporting must be done using the appropriate form, which is known as the FinCEN Form 105, Report of International Transportation of Currency or Monetary Instruments, CMIR. Failing to report amounts exceeding $10,000 can result in the seizure of the funds and potential legal penalties. The government has the authority to seize the undeclared funds, and you may face civil and criminal penalties. Number 10. Not being mindful of noise. And last but not least, not being mindful of noise. Airports can be busy and crowded, but remember that people are trying to rest or work. Keep your conversations and electronic noises at a considerate level. Unwritten rule for passengers that are in the airport, especially at the gate area, is to be mindful of your noise level. Please don't watch movies on your device without headphones, or take long phone calls on speaker or yell into your phone while trying to use the speech-to-text function. Being aware of your noise level also extends to anyone that you are responsible for. Please be responsible for your kids. It's not a good look to be that parent that is sitting on their iPad while the kids are running around screaming, climbing on seats, and being a general pain in the butt to the other passengers. Well, there you have it, 10 things you should definitely avoid doing at US airports. Traveling can be exciting, but a little awareness goes a long way in making your journey smooth and stress-free. If you found these tips helpful, don't forget to give us a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button for more travel insights. Safe travels, everyone.